Okay, so here is my code for my networking activity. Here on my left, I have my server file, and on my right, I have my client. So on my server, I import the threading and the socket libraries so that it'll help me run. At first, I set the host to be any port so that anyone can connect to it from any IP address. And then I set the port to 5556. Something random so that it's not taken up. Then I go and set the server to connect to the internet using this socket stream, and then I bind it to these parameters that I set in host and port. Set the clients and the nicknames array so that when I add clients and add nicknames, it'll be able to use them. So in the first one, the broadcast just simply just sends whatever I put into messages, it'll send for each client. So if you see down here in broadcast, the called broadcast, and it'll say nickname, join the chat, and it'll just send that message. And then for my handle function, I take in the client as an argument, and it's just gonna run forever until it accepts a client, and then it'll break out. Um, So you can see that it'll try to say message that client receive, and it'll broadcast the message to say it'll join the chat. And then it'll set all the clients, it'll set clients to the index. Or index is set to this index.client, and then it'll remove, it'll close. Nickname will be set for whatever the index is, and then it'll say left to chat. And then it'll remove it after they leave. And then this receive function is probably the most important because this allows the client to join into the server. You can say that server accept connected with the address that is over here. I actually need to change that to 10.39. That is the IP address for the current network I'm on. Um, Yep, back to this. The client will send the basically a code word to get the nickname. They'll send Nick into, and so then it'll set it appends the nickname to the nickname array back up here, and then it'll just print the messages that say they connected. And then the thread over here lets handle run while receiving so that it's not just step by step, it'll do it at the same time. This just states that the server is running and it'll call this function. Over here we have the client. Um, the client will be able to choose a nickname after running this. It connects through the port they're at into 5556. They do the receive. They receive the nick, then it'll say nickname dot send nickname. Else print message, except an error occurred, client close. Um, then this write allows the input to they allows the client to put messages into the chat. Same thing with the receiving thread. This allows the receive to work while while it's running. So it's not just step by step. So after I save that, you can try looking over here. I have it set up. So on the left terminal, no, do Python 3 server Y. See the server is listening. Over here, I'm going to do Python client .py. Choose a nickname. I'm going to choose Bob. Bob joined the chat, connected to the server. Nickname of the client is Bob. You can see that it connected through this IP address that I set. Now, if I was to have another person run, they would connect using their own IP address. And but for the case of just videoing this, I'll just connect it through a different terminal. So I'll do another, see if I have it. Python client.3, choose a nickname. This time it goes Sam. Sam joined the chat, connected to the server. You can see that Sam joined the chat, opened over here, and in the server, the nickname of client Sam. They have the same IP address, but different. Yeah. And so I can type hi, and Bob gets it. You see hi, and then Bob could say, hey, what's up? Sends, hey, what's up? And Sam got it. So that's my TCP chat. Very simple. Kinda had some problems figuring out how to doing the threading part. That one was interesting to learn. And then sockets was kind of interesting. Um, because before I just put a host on my IP address and it was like 127.0.0.1. But this allows anyone to connect to it. So the only thing you need to really change for each client is the IP address they're connecting with, and that just changes whatever through whatever Wi-Fi you're on. So yeah, if I was to switch to a different Wi-Fi, I'd have to find the new one for this and change it. But besides that, everything is really clear on the receive for both of these, and then I can change this up. Things I would add, um, I would probably add either like the kicking so that the server um could control who's in it. And then I'd probably add emojis to the writing expression so that it'll allow that. I could improve it by making it into a GUI so that it's not through the terminal like this. But besides that, everything else is good.